So the practice that I thought I would do this evening is to lead the core practice, settling, grounding and resting, but maybe with a little bit of a focus. And I suppose when I'm offering the practice, it's sort of thinking of, for me, there's something about sitting in the midst of my present moment experience. So that's kind of where I'm coming from today. But just realizing it's only sort of 2 minutes to 7, maybe I'll give people a little bit longer before I say a bit more. Just briefly. Hello. Hi, Joyce. Hi. So I don't know if anybody has anything that they want to say before we start, or anybody they want to greet. Maybe you can see somebody who's here for a while.
Shirley. Hello, Rosina. Hi, Shirley. Hi, Sue. So good to see you.
It's lovely. It can feel like a real catch-up, can't it, with maybe that you haven't seen for a while. And just kind of building that sense of community and just being pleased to be with each other. A good thing. And I'll invite you to mute yourselves really when we start the practice. But you know, it's a fairly straightforward session. So just to give a minute or two of introduction of what I'm going to suggest for this practice this evening. Hello.
Hello, sorry, she's saying mute yourselves. I don't know how to mute myself.
Okay.
I do have a noisy cat and I would hate if he started.
Okay. If on the bottom, can you see on the bottom right hand side of your screen, there's a speaker.
Of it.
Pardon?
On my screen, all I've got is a box with me in the middle of it. Oh, hang on a minute. If I tick.
Yeah.
No, now I've lost myself as well as. I'm really sorry about this, guys.
That's all right. That's all right. Have you got a video camera somewhere?
I've got switch to gallery view, switch to camera.
So you're on the camera?
No, stop video share. Oh, it's at the top of the screen. Hang on. I don't know how to mute. Right, got it, found it.
Brilliant.
Okay, I'll mute.
Are you happy now?
Yes.
Brilliant. Hello, Lucy.
Hi, Rosina. I was about to pipe in some helpfulness, but it
Right.
wasn't required.
Well, there we are. We found it eventually.
Good.
I think that's it. There's that momentary panic, isn't there? And you're on the spot and you've got to find it. And then once you find it, it's okay. So, as I was saying, what we'll do today is a short settling, grounding and resting with a little bit of a focus as an experiment on being with the dropping into or the sitting in the midst of experience. And when I think of settling, grounding and resting for myself, and when I lead it, I'll often lead it with coming to the resting part. So the breath is still here and the body is still here, but then just softening and opening up a little bit to all of the experience of the present moment. And so when we move into the resting, and you can use the support of your choice of breath or sound, but I'll maybe offer some kind of suggestions for kind of opening up to the present moment experience. So I'll mention body, maybe mention sounds around, mention feeling the atmosphere or feeling temperature on your skin, just as a little experiment, and just to do that very lightly and without a kind of focusing in on, but just a kind of an opening up to. I'm not sure what the difference is, but there's kind of a lightness about it. So, and you can ignore all of that if you just want to stay with resting. That's all fine too. Does that make sense, or does that raise questions for anybody? Okay, shall we sit and practice then? So as always, do get comfortable. Just checking in with your posture and checking in that you're sitting as comfortably as you can. And so beginning with the intention to just be with the present moment as much as we can. And the reality of that is that it's a continual process of coming back to the present moment. And using the process of settling, grounding and resting as a way of helping us to become a little bit closer to being in the present moment. And hopefully we will all have a shared intention to do that with a kind curiosity, so that we're kind to ourselves. And just before I go further, just if people could just check that they've muted, because I can hear a sort of a buzzing. So then to begin with, just coming to the breath and just noticing the breath, just feeling the breath, the movement of it, the flow of it, the in and the out of it, the expansion in the chest and the stomach, the relaxation in the chest and the stomach, the coolness at the throat and the coolness at the nostrils. Maybe just appreciating the breath. And then moving into using the support of counting, if that's helpful. So counting to 3 or 4, or using in and out as kind of flow words, just to allow the breath to begin to settle and to allow the out breath to be at least as long as the in breath. Just beginning to sit with the quality of nowhere else to be, nothing else to do. And just coming back again to this moment. Lengthening the out-breath, just allowing the out-breath to be just a little longer, just a little deeper. And perhaps almost feeling the out-breath traveling down through the body, almost like a wave or a sigh. And with each out-breath, the body softens, allows itself to sink a little more into the support. And also with each out-breath, we become just a little bit more aware of the body. And feeling that connection between the breath and the body. So then just shifting attention a little more from the breath to the body, letting go of the counting and the attention on the lengthened breath and coming into the sense of this body sitting here. Feeling the contact with the floor. And the contact with the cushion or chair. And just aware of the security of that support. So we don't need to put effort into sitting up or holding ourselves onto the floor. The floor and the chair and the cushion are just there to support us. And then just moving through the body in your own way. Maybe scanning from the toes up to the head. Or maybe just bringing attention to those parts of the body that call out for a bit of attention at the moment. Just checking in with this body this evening. And with a sense of nothing wrong, but we may have a bit of tightness or a bit of pain somewhere in the body, and naturally our attention will go to that place. And so if there's some discomfort or tightness or pain, just imagining directing a soothing breath into that area. Not to push it away, not to try and stop the discomfort, but just gently soothing, warming, or cooling. And then coming back again to a sense of this whole body sitting here. A sense of the body sitting here and breathing. And as the mind begins to settle and the body begins to settle, we come closer to resting. We're just resting in our present moment experience. So the breath is still here and the body is still here. But there's a sense of softening and opening up and just loosening that focus that we've had on breath and then on body. And just opening up and opening out. Just sitting here in the midst of the present moment. And sitting and resting in the present moment, inevitably our mind begins to wander. We find ourselves lost in thought. So using the support of breath or sound, whatever feels like it is calling to you or would be okay for you in this practice, just allowing yourself the lightest of touch, the lightest attention on breath or sound, just to help you to come back to each moment. And whether or not you're using breath as a support, there will be some awareness of the breath happening breath is one of the many things that's happening in the present moment. And whether or not you're using sound as your support, there will be sounds arising in the present moment. Just allowing the sounds to come to our ears. Just hearing each one in turn, like each note of a symphony. Seeing if it's possible to do that without too much being caught up in the judgment and too much being caught up in the thinking about. And even with a looser attention, we'll still have an awareness of our bodies being here. Maybe feeling the temperature of the room against the skin. Maybe feeling the support of the ground or the pressure of the chair or cushion or feet on the ground. And just a very light opening up to. With eyes open, we'll have an awareness of the room around us. And even with eyes closed, we have a sense of ourselves in space, sense of ourselves in the room. Depending on where you're sitting, there might be a sense of vibration from traffic outside. There might be currents of air. There might be awareness of animals around and outside or in the room. Awareness of the rest of the house, maybe sounds coming from other rooms. And just seeing if it's possible just to notice, just to open to. And then just to sit, just to rest here in the middle of our experience.